one thing to see the solution that's needed. It's quite another to administer it, though, isn't it? Morning to you. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Wild 5, Penguins 3 last night at PPG Paints Arena. Really, genuinely touching scenes involving Marc-Andre Fleury in his last visit to Pittsburgh. The crowds chanting, his gesturing to the crowd, the post-game celebration among the Wild players, none of whom left the ice, all of them recognizing how much it means to him to be here. Sidney Crosby and Chris Letang stayed on the rink as well. The crowd just kept chanting, didn't want him to leave. All good stuff. But better if you're in St. Paul, you know? And let's be real here. And I've known Flower for the better part of 2 decades. So I'm not diminishing or downplaying the event in any way, but that's not gonna be what dictates last night's mood in there for most people. It's just not. And why is that? Well, here comes the repeat of the repeat. This team can't defend. As in, it can't defend at all. It can't prevent turnovers or odd man breaks or clean breakaways or simple passes to the middle of the rink, or anything. If there's anything that the Penguins are doing well defensively this season, feel free to reach out and inform me, because I'm still searching. I watched this one, not going to lie to you here, with only that eye from the press box last night. I wasn't interested in the goals, although it was neat to see Rickard Rakell score a couple on a line with Sid and Evgeny Malkin. It was neat that Valtteri Puustinen thought to shoot the hockey puck, and what do you know, it was a terrific shot that beat Fleury down low. Power play, no less. But even when they get up 2-0, you're just basically looking at your watch and waiting for the other goals to come, because the other breakdowns are going to come. Now, the first one, Joel Blomqvist really hated it, and he should have. It was a bad goal to give up. Violent angle, short side, squeezed in between his blocker and the pipe. He actually had some choice words for that goal, which I was surprised he even knew, given his limited English. But then came a turnover for Matt Grzelcyk. Then came yet another one of those bizarre scenes where the defensemen just vanish in the neutral zone when the Penguins are rushing up ice. And old friend Freddie Gaudreau's hanging out at the Pittsburgh blue line. You can call it cherry picking, but it's not cheating. Turnover results. Freddie gets sprung. He beats Blomqvist on the breakaway. Whatever. You've seen all of this before. You've seen a ton of it. And actually, you've seen more of it than any other franchise's fans have this season. The Penguins are the worst defensive team in hockey. As such, I opened Mike Sullivan's press conference last night with the following question.
Mike, I know there's no way to answer this in a simple way because it's a complicated thing. What is missing defensively? Is it the defensemen? Is it the entire team? It doesn't appear to be the goaltending.
No, I think it's a number of things, but it starts with the decisions we make with the puck, because I think we put ourselves and our teammates in very difficult spots. And the first step in becoming a solid team defensively is managing the puck appropriately. Otherwise, you're inviting easy offense, and we're on the wrong side of the puck, we're on the wrong side of people, we're on the wrong side of the attack, and that's where it starts. So, it's happened a number of times. It happened again tonight. That for me is where it starts. And then there needs to be a commitment to details. We need to stop when we track back into our zone and run circle. We need to recognize who's going to get to the puck first. Are we on offense or are we on defense? We can't always take the offensive position. We have to think in terms of the defensive side position. As I said to the guys before the game, we're going to defend our way out of this. We're not going to score our way out of this. And that's what we're trying to work at. For me, it starts with a mindset. It starts with an attitude, and your intentions need to be in the right place. And when they are, now we have a chance to be better defensively with respect to some of the details associated with it.
Now, that's a lengthy answer, but it's really meaty. There's a lot in there. There's actually, if you were to take his answer, carve up the sentences and arrange them, you'd have a blueprint. You'd have an outline for how did he put it? How are we going to get out of this? We're not going to score our way out of this. We're going to defend our way out of this. That's actually the blueprint. It's something I've been saying on this program for months, just leading into this season. The only way the Penguins were going to compete, never mind contend, is if they put defending first, as opposed to everything that you just heard the man say. Now, I say all that, and I can hear you on the other end going, okay, well, why doesn't he tell the players? Well, he is telling the players. And he and Mike Vellucci and David Quinn and whoever else happens to be on the ice, the message is consistent. It's being sent. It's often being sent forcefully, as occurred at one of the practices in Calgary last week. Sullivan just lost it because even in the drills, they weren't doing it. They weren't getting it done. So he made them line up and do it again. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Now, next thing I'm hearing from your direction, so they're tuning him out. I put big Seinfeldian quotes around tuning him out because that's the common phraseology for the players want the coach to be fired. Also known as his message has gotten stale, it's time for a new voice. And you know what? I can't rule out that that's the case. I can't rule out that after all these years, that it might take something like shouting through a drill to sound differently to the players' ears. But here's where I tune out that argument. I don't see half of an NHL defense corps here. I really don't. And if you paid close attention to the way I asked Sullivan the question, one of the things that I threw in before that is it the defensemen, plural, or something else? What I felt strongly that I saw again last night, only it's hugely advantageous to do so in person because you can watch the part of the rink that you want to watch. I saw Grzelcyk, who does not belong in the NHL. I saw Ryan Graves, who does not belong in the NHL. I saw Jack St. Ivany, who I like a lot in terms of his potential, but who does not belong in the NHL right now, although you got to give him big props for coming in and fighting on his captain's behalf. And from there, you've got Chris Letang, Erik Karlsson, Marcus Pettersson, all performing below par. You tell me how that's supposed to get fixed. You tell me how that would be magically solved by everybody just, tuning in. When we come back, J1Q. Today's J1Q comes from Cam, who asks, have we proved yet this system does not work for this team and that Mike Sullivan refuses to change it? Or is anyone still in doubt that there's only one thing left to do? You can fire the coach, Cam. You can do that. You can bring in, I'm trying to think of like a defensive-minded coach who might still be floating around there somewhere. They're out there. and you can bring that person in. And the first thing that new coach will tell you is that guy, and that guy gone. Meaning half their defensemen. Meaning the way I coach, the way I like to have my players performing and being responsible and not rushing up ice whenever you don't have the puck. Meaning as one defenseman, and then Ryan Graves throws the puck laterally to lose it, leading to a breakaway. What do you think that coach can do about Graves? What do you think that coach can do about Matt Grzelcyk? Or, at this stage of his career, Jack St. Ivany? Knock him out and put Ryan Shea in? Bring up the wrong Sebastian Aho from Wilkes-Barre? There aren't answers here personnel-wise. I have been on the record, and emphatically so, that I liked the summer that Kyle Dubas had. And that was largely because I felt that the top priority was to address the bottom six forwards. Well, a lot of things have gone wrong through these 11 games, but I don't think anybody can dispute that the bottom six forwards have been at least a modestly pleasant surprise. But along the way, in this camp that was supposed to promote such heavy competition, Grzelcyk was really anointed. I mean, he was put with Chris Letang on day one of camp and just seen as, a no-brainer, an automatic, even though he'd just gotten scratched for about 20 games or whatever it was in Boston. Yeah, the Bruins had a nice defensive core, but, when the games mattered the most, the Bruins showed him the press box. So what I'm saying is, yeah, the system isn't working. Nothing's working. If your belief is that the system is causing this, then your belief also would, by extension, need to be that another system would make these guys competent or would somehow shield them. And I don't see evidence of that. And if you don't mind my just bluntly speaking my mind here, Sullivan feels like just an easy, lazy target in this sense. We're not going to get super detailed about this. We're not going to dissect why this happened or why that happened or which individual is performing well, which isn't, which pairings work, which pairings don't. Hint, all of them. We're not even going to pick on other casual targets like Chris Letang or Erik Karlsson, both of whom, by the way, would normally be getting a whole lot of grief. Nah, it's the coach. It's the coach. That's the guy that you keep seeing on TV standing there behind the bench. And you're tired of looking at him. You're tired of listening to his voice. And so there he is. But go right ahead and do that. I don't agree with it. I respect anyone who has an opinion on this, that Sullivan needs to go. I hope you would respect mine, that the root problem here is not having enough NHL caliber defensemen. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody who listens to Daily Shot of Penguins. We might be in for a long 6 months of back and forth here, huh? Let's do it again tomorrow anyway.